Hi there, it's Christy with the Chirp YouTube channel. I hope you're having a great week. I'm here today with a little clip from my classroom from a couple of weeks ago that really warmed my heart. If you've been watching my channel a little while, you know that I run a classroom for kids with special needs. Actually, I run the whole program at my church, my home church. And I help other churches develop appropriate programming for the kids in their congregations who have special needs, and hopefully they're able to invite children from their community also to join them who otherwise wouldn't have a chance to learn about Jesus, and their families wouldn't have a chance to attend church. It's my mission in life to make church a more welcoming place for kids with special needs, and it's also part of that mission to help families and other professionals learn how to make the world more understandable and welcoming for kids with special needs. As part of that, I run this classroom, and right now I lead 2 classrooms myself personally, and I'm training other people to take over these classrooms from me when the time is right. And I get to interact with my students a lot, and I love that because they're so interesting. I learn tons from every single Sunday. I learn more from these kids, and it's fabulous. Also, they're really funny and they're really cute. The boys in the video clip I'm going to show you a little bit later in this video both have difficulty with their social emotional skills. One of them has extreme difficulty staying calm and regulated. He quickly dissolves into tears. He gets very overstimulated at times and impulsive. And the other student has a lot of difficulty with managing his anger and being appropriate towards other kids. He's had difficulty with aggression, he's had difficulty with his language, and with his words about other kids. He's in my program because he's mean and because he has hurt other children physically. Of course, we want to help both of these young men to develop into the grown-up men we know they can be. I have it in my head already what they're going to be like as adults, and they're going to be wonderful, and I'm really excited to help them get there. One of the ways that we do that in our classroom is by teaching about Jesus and about how Jesus lived, and by referencing back to him when we're talking about behaviors that happen in our classroom. So we write rules, not necessarily rules. We talk about how we want to do things like Jesus did them. So we choose to be kind. In our classroom, we choose to be kind. In our classroom, we choose to show love even when our peers are annoying us. You may have rules like this in your family. You may not be a believer in any sort of God, and that's fine for this purpose. You just need to have some regular phrases that you use to set values in your home or your classroom. If you have a home and you have children of any kind, you know that you teach them how to behave by having expectations and by repeating those expectations regularly. At least really good parents do this. I'm pretty sure not all parents do this, but the good ones do. And so those expectations might be phrased, like I just mentioned. In our home, we use kind words, even when we're angry. In our home, we do everything we can to help each other, not hurt each other. You can make up whatever your values are and teach them purposefully. One of the values that I teach in my classroom is we show love. We are kind. Those are things that Jesus did. Those are things that we do. Of course, it's not always the truth that we show love and we are kind, but it is what we are aiming for. It is what we want to be. So one of the ways that we work on these staying calm, not lashing out of frustration and anger, one of the ways that we work on those skills is by talking about it and reinforcing the values that we believe are important to teach. Another way we work on these things is through play. I believe that play is completely invaluable when it comes to teaching kids how to function in the real world and teaching them the skills that they're going to need to use in the real world and in their relationships with other people. I have lots and lots of videos on play. I will put the most recent one right there, and you can watch more about that topic in that playlist if you like. In this video, I just want to say play is important, and a lot of kids with different diagnoses don't naturally learn how to do it. So it's important that if your child has difficulty with play, that you learn how to support those play skills and that you get some professionals, preferably a speech-language pathologist who's a specialist in whatever area of age your child is. If your child is 5 and under, you probably want to choose an early intervention specialist because they do a lot of play. Everything they do should be play-based if they are really worth your time. So we do a lot of play in my classroom, and we work through some of those difficulties our kids are having in play-based scenarios. In this video, I'm going to give you 7 ways to work through issues in the social emotional realm with your students or your children during play. I'm going to talk through these 7 things first, and then I'm going to show you a clip at the end. It's just 3 minutes long, and I'm going to give you a little test to see how many of these can you see me doing with my students in that short clip. It should be a fun little game. The first thing we want to make sure to do is to point out problems between characters while the kids are playing out a scenario. And then we want to invite the child to problem solve. If I have 2 animals that are trying to bite each other and are growling and hissing, I might step in and say, "Oh no, they're fighting. What's wrong? Why are they angry?" And if the child just continues fighting, which is likely, I might say, I wonder if someone is hungry. I wonder if someone needs a nap. Sometimes people are angry when they need a nap. Maybe animals are angry when they need a nap too. A lot of times kids will jump right on board with one of these problem-solving suggestions, and maybe one of the animals will say, "I am hungry," and then we can offer the tiger a snack of an apple instead of the hippopotamus. And of course, we're not talking about real nature when we talk about animals. We want to pretend that these animals are people, because that's how kids learn how to interact with each other. So when 2 animals are fighting, most of the time with our students, it's not because tigers usually eat hyenas. It's because there's some anger going on inside the child, and acting it out with toys gives the child an opportunity to figure out what to do with those feelings. It's not always the case, but oftentimes it is the case. My kids play with toys much more aggressively and violently when they're in an aggressive and violent mood themselves than they do when they're feeling calm. In the clip at the end of this video, you'll see one of my students, the one on the right, is feeling much calmer in this particular day than was the one on the left. The one on the left, the toys are all over the place, they're fighting each other, they're angry, their voices are raised. The other one is calmer and is not as aggressive. And you can tell based on how they're playing what their particular mood is, what their particular level of regulation is at that moment. You can probably tell this with your own kids or your students too. Tip number 1, once again, is point out where there are problems in the relationship of toys and invite the child in to problem solve with you. Sometimes the child will verbalize those options and sometimes not. Sometimes you have to provide them. But still, we want the child to get in the habit of recognizing aggressive behaviors or frustrated or angry or mean behaviors, and learning that those are opportunities to figure out a different way to do things, to start thinking of options and different solutions to the problem than just being mean, grumpy, or aggressive. Number 2, invite in a higher authority. I usually choose a policeman. I don't have any police women dolls, and most of my students who deal with this are boys, and so they want a policeman. I have a policeman doll. I may have a policeman puppet. I did in my previous program at a different church, I know, but I think I left the puppet behind. In this clip, I just use another toy that happens to be part of the same set, but I use a different voice for that toy. Excuse me, it's not okay to use that word. That kind of voice. I'm super great at it. So, bring in a higher authority. Say, those animals are not being nice. I'm gonna bring in the king of animals, the lion. The lion will help them decide how to be kind to each other because that's what lions do. Okay, it's not true. Lions usually just sleep and eat other animals. But in our play scenario, the lion can represent the dad, the lion can represent the teacher, the lion can represent you, whoever you are, trying to bring some order to the chaos of this aggressive fighting situation. Higher authorities are great. If you happen to run across police toys or a police hand puppet, or even just somebody who's wearing a crown, sometimes the king can solve problems for people like Solomon did. You can even bring in Solomon when you need wise counsel for your toys, and Solomon can help them make better decisions. Be creative with this. The kids know that there are authorities in their own lives. There also are authorities in toy lives to help them not hurt each other and to help them make better choices. I even have helped some toys go to jail in a bookcase with the help of a police officer because they were just being so mean and hurting other toys or jumping at people across the room. Sometimes we have to put toys in jail. Sometimes they need to serve their time and pay their debt to society. Number 3, call out behavior that is not okay. Just use that phrase. It's not okay to eat your friends. It's not okay to throw a rock at your teacher. It's not okay to yell bad words. It's not okay to call your friends stupid. Just comment on that and have your authority figure comment on that. Have other toys be the elephant and comment on the fight going on between the lion and the hyena. Be a model for kids to say to their friends, that's not okay. We're giving them a voice. We're helping them to internalize a phrase that they can use when they see bad behavior going on. Number 4, remind the child during play of whatever your family values or your church values or your classroom values are. For example, we choose to be kind. We choose to use loving words to our friends. We choose to show love like Jesus shows love. Just remind the kids of that. Maybe have your authority figure say that, or maybe just step in and say, those animals are being really mean. They need to show love. They need to be kind. You can, once again, at all points in this play scenario, invite the kid to brainstorm. How can we help them do that? Keep repeating those values regularly throughout play and throughout your session together, because the more times you repeat them, the deeper they get ingrained into a child's psyche, and the more they sort of come out naturally. Number 5, model the problem-solving process. We talked before about inviting the child to problem solve with you. Oh, look, they're fighting. I wonder why. What can we do to help them calm down? This is another idea along the same lines where you're going to want to say, these people are fighting because both of them want to drive the car. Maybe they could flip a coin. Maybe mom could drive for 5 minutes and then dad could drive for 5 minutes and then baby could drive for 5 minutes. Although I think she's a bad driver because she's a baby and they might crash. Perhaps we could ask the sister to choose who drives, or perhaps they could take a test and whoever the best driver is gets to drive. Offer some solutions and allow the child to pick from those in order to solve the conundrum that is happening within this play universe. Number 6, interpret the behavior of other toys or other children in this play scenario to fit your kindness narrative. So if another kid drives the car in and crashes into the first car that was driving crazy, you could say, oh, the red car came in to stop you from driving crazy and to keep everyone safe. Instead of just saying, don't crash into each other. Interpret that behavior as a way to keep people safe, as a way to promote kindness and love. Sometimes we have to look carefully to find a way of interpretation that supports that kindness narrative. But if we're creative, which we have to be in this field, we can do it. Number 7, complement pro-social behaviors. Pro-social means it is a positive behavior that we want to see more of in the social realm. When kids are nice to each other, when someone says a kind word to a peer, when someone doesn't respond to violence with violence, when a toy helps another toy, when a toy says, be nice, or that's not okay, when a child swoops in to help a peer's toy. These are all pro-social behaviors. I'm sure you can think of hundreds more probably, and you probably see them play out in your classroom. A lot of times we don't really pay that much attention when kids are playing because we think they're occupied and I can do something else. And sometimes we have to do something else. We have to make sure our classroom is prepared. We have to make sure dinner is ready and that we're going to actually have food to eat on the table. But a lot of times play is one of the areas where you can see deepest into what a child's true needs are. And you can start intervening in a way that is a little bit less, I don't know the word. It's a little bit less intrusive to the child because it's not the child that you're working on. It's these two characters. It's the tiger and the hyena, or it's the two astronauts, or whoever it is. It's not the child who's being corrected, although it is often the child's feelings that are being addressed. It's a very sneaky but also very helpful way to address some of the social emotional difficulties that kids face. I'm going to show you the clip now. See how many of these things that you recognize. There will be a little ding and a little comment when I'm doing one of them, so keep your eyes open.
Oh, get out of my way, this is my elevator, my elevator. No, this is my elevator.
There's some wrestling going on.
I pushed the button first.
I think they need to find a way to work it out. What do you think they're going to do? Do they need a police officer to help them, or can they do it themselves?
Get a police officer!
Here I come. I'm the space police.
Don't get out of my way, stupid alien.
Excuse me. It's not okay to say mean words to each other like that. We try to show love like Jesus. We don't choke each other. We show love. How can you guys show love to each other?
I pushed the button. No, I pushed the button. Who do you think I pushed the button?
Does it matter who pushed the button? Maybe you could both ride in the elevator at the same time.
There's no room.
Maybe you could take turns. Oh, an alien has come and he says,
No, I go first. I go first. I go first.
this other alien is coming to remind
I
you.
go first.
He says, be loving,
I
people.
go first.
Be loving. Be nice to each other, not mean.
Hurry, pull up the alarm. And then I go up there and then I turn on the alarm.
Oh, the alarm.
Oh my gosh, what the heck is going on? What the heck is going on?
I think that's the mean alarm. Somebody's been mean.
me.
What? There's something. No, why am I getting arrested?
Ah!
What are you trying to say?
I like that noises.
I'm saying, please be nice. Don't punch me.
Oh, very nice words, Alien.
Mr. Alien. He tried to take the elevator from me, but I pushed the button first.
Maybe there's another way you can get to the top.
Finally.
Wow, what a helpful alien. I'm glad he's got wings. He's a good flyer.
Always wait in line.
Ooh, that's a great idea. You guys are solving all sorts of problems today.
And I said, which one do you want to go to?
I want to go to the second floor, please.
Is this the second one?
You see, so I can charge up my iPad. Thank you.
The aliens have iPads? Or the astronauts do? That's cool.
Waiting in line. I would like to go to the third floor so I can charge.
You guys are such good friends to each other. I love you. Also, I'm very proud of you both. You're having such a great day.
That's the stuff.
There you go, getting some juice. Aren't my boys the cutest? I just love them to pieces. I'm so proud of them. They are doing great, great work, and they are working very hard to manage themselves, to learn better skills. And I'm really glad that I'm in their lives, that I'm able to learn from them and help them with those things. Enjoy your day, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.